What's up, YouTube? This is Bystanderx79, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile for August 2019. Alright, guys, and today I'm going to be doing my domain Monarch deck profile. But before we get started, a few things I do want to turn on and mention here. The Team FTK channel is both PayPal and Patreon powered. So what does that mean? Basically, we take the money from the donations we receive through PayPal and the monthly pledges we get from Patreon, and we use it to get better equipment, better cards, to help you bring better content. Alright? Alright, so the links to both the PayPal donation and the Patreon page for the team down in the description box below. Alright? If you guys don't want to turn around and make donations through PayPal or Patreon, there is another way to turn around and support the channel. As you can see right here, we have my beautiful Bystanderx79 playmat. I actually got this playmat off of Ink Gaming. The Team FTK channel is partnered with Ink Gaming. We do have a discount code you can turn around and utilize at checkout, Team FTK10, to get 10% off your purchase. I got this playmat off of Ink Gaming using that code, and I can tell you this right now, it does really great. Ink Gaming has a ton of stuff that you can turn around and utilize, whether you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any other trading card game, and they have plenty of other stuff as well that you can actually take a look at. So please, after you finish watching this video, please check them out. Use the code, get 10% off. Alright? Also, we're all over social media, so the links to our social medias will be down in the description box below as well. And not only that, but we also have the links to the other members' individual channels, like my own. Please, if you really want to support us, check out our individual pages and subscribe there as well as here. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into this deck. Alright, we're going to turn around and talk about the 2 copies of Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. Alright, now Aether just recently came back to us at 2. I can tell you right now, some Monarch players were happy, others not so happy. I was one of those that weren't happy, in my opinion. I still believe we should have gotten some of the Monarchs back at multiples sooner than we got Aether, but hey, Konami's going to give us the support in the order they want to give it to us, so we got to just roll with it. Alright? Aether, just like all the other big Monarchs in this deck, can tribute summon themselves out by tributing off one other tribute summon monster. Say that 5 times fast. Alright? Now, the really cool thing about Aether is that it has a quick effect that allows you to tribute itself out. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue-tied. During your opponent's turn, all you gotta do is banish a Monarch spell or trap card from your graveyard, and then you can tribute summon it out. Okay? And whenever this guy Aether is tribute summon, you can pitch 2 Monarch spell and trap cards from your deck to your graveyard to special summon another monster with 24 or 100 or more attack and 1000 defense to the field. Alright? That can allow you to get extra buy on the field, whether you're going to look to push for an attack or just to turn around and build a wall to make it impossible for your opponent to turn around and really OTK you. Alright? The monster, if it's not destroyed by battle during that turn, is bounced back to your hand at the end of the turn. Alright? Now, typically what you turn around and do with Aether is you bring out Karaz. Karaz will turn around and utilize its effect to pop 2 cards up to 2 cards in the field. Usually you're going to pop itself and one other card you don't no longer need, and you get to draw 2 cards. So in a way, Konami giving us Aether at 2 in the deck is kind of giving us more consistency in a way. I just wish they'd give us the spell instead. But hey, it's what it is. Alright. 3 copies of Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. Okay. Erebus is actually pretty damn awesome. Whenever a tribute summon, you send 2 Monarch spells and traps from the deck to your graveyard, and you get to spin 1 card off your opponent's field back to their deck, which is actually huge. Alright. But that's not the only thing. While this guy is in the graveyard, you can banish a Monarch spell and trap card there to actually get another Monarch monster from your graveyard back to your hand, allowing you to recur some of your more powerful monsters and to basically be able to continually go off. Alright? Such an awesome card. And last but not least, I run one copy of Caius, the Mega Monarch. I'm actually thinking of pushing this guy up to 2 by dropping Auugust down to 2 as well. The primary reason why I'm thinking of pushing this guy up to 2 is there are a whole lot of Dark Attribute decks out there still. Alright? We got ourselves the Danger Auugust decks, and as well as Danger Dungeon Dragons out there as well. The primary reason why I'm going to probably push this up to 2 is basically because of what his effect. Whenever this guy is tribute summoned, you can target one card in the field and banish it. If there happens to be a Dark Attribute monster, oh, this is where it gets good. Every copy of that card, no matter where it is, whether it's on the field, in the main deck, in the extra deck, or the graveyard, banished. Yeah, banished. They also lose 1,000 life points, which is actually pretty cool as well, a little extra burn damage. But the fact that you're banishing a whole lot of cards and resources away from your opponent, very awesome. Alright? And since it's not destruction, and if you use a Dark Attribute monster to summon this guy out, you get to target up to 2 monsters, which is actually even better because now you're ripping even more cards and resources away from your opponent. So I'm definitely going to probably be pushing this guy up to 2 for the future format. Now, I talked about this guy with either 3 copies of Karaz. Whenever this guy is summoned, whether it be normal or special summon, you can target up to 2 cards in the field, pop them, and then the person who controls the cards that were destroyed gets to draw cards to replace them. Typically, you want to pop Karaz itself and 1 card you don't need to get those draws. All right. Now, typically, you don't want to leave this guy in the field because whenever he uses his effect, he can't attack that turn. So, yeah, there's that little downside there. But he also is a free body, so if you can get an extra tribute summon during the turn, maybe not that bad, but I also have another way to actually get him off the field to even get more draws. So, 2 copies of Vanity's Fiend. Basically, neither player can special summon. This deck doesn't really special summon a whole lot. And once you basically get this guy on the field, it usually means you're locking down your opponent and getting ready to end the duel. And last but not least, we have 1 copy of Majesty's Fiend. The primary reason why I only won 1 copy is because he has the Monarch stat line. 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense, which basically allows him to be searched out of this deck on a more regular basis, as opposed as Vanity's Fiend, which doesn't have the same defense. Alright? For the primary engine of this deck, we have 3 copies of Edea, the Heavenly Squire. Alright, whenever this Edea is summoned to the field, whether it be normal or special, you get to special summon out another monster from your deck that has 800 attack, 1,000 defense onto the field in defense position, which is actually pretty damn cool. Alright, whenever this Edea is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Monarch spells and trap cards and add it back to your hand, which is actually pretty good. More recursion means you can actually do a whole lot more things with this deck. And once you go off, you can go off pretty damn big with this deck as well. Alright, and last but not least, we also have 3 copies of Eidos, the Underworld Squire. Alright, whenever Eidos is summoned to the field, you're getting an additional tribute summon on top of your normal summon for the turn. Huge. While this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then special summon 1 monster with 800 attack, 1,000 defense from your graveyard back to the field, which is typically going to be your Edea. And from there, you're going to grab another Eidos and put it onto the field, get another tribute summon, so you see how the engine works. Alright, going on to the spells. Alright, for our starter cards, 1 for 1 and Rhoda. Primary reason is Edea is a level 1, so you can pitch a monster, get Edea onto the field, special summon, and still get the engine going. And Reinforcement of Army is just is a way to get to Edea because Edea is a warrior monster. Alright, so those are your starter cards. Alright, the card that I really love in this deck came out of Cybernetic Horizons. It's a secret rare Celestial Observatory. So huge. When I first saw this card screamed Monarch deck. Use me there. Alright? I am running 3 copies. I only have 2. I can't seem to find my 3rd, but still. What happens is that it allows you to turn around and take a level 6 monster, whether it be in your hand or on the field, put it on the bottom of your deck, and then you draw 2 cards. So in a way, you can utilize, if you have this card in your hand, you can actually utilize this with Karaz. Pop 2 cards you don't need on the field, draw 2, and then drop this card, send Karaz back to the bottom of your deck, draw another 2 cards. Pretty cool. Another good way you could actually turn around and do this is in combination with the next spell card, which is Domain of the True Monarchs. Alright, one of the effects of Domain of the True Monarchs allows you to turn around and take one of your monsters that have 2000 attack and 1000 defense and reduces level by 2. So all those monsters are level 8, which means they go down to level 6, which means Celestial Observatory can return that big level monster to the bottom of the deck to get you big cards. Alright, while you control a tribute summon monster, your opponent's not accessing that extra deck, which is just awesome. This is one of the reasons why I love playing this deck so much. This card just is awesome. Alright, you got the level reduction, and this card does power boost your monsters when they attack. So that's actually even cooler too. So, there you go. For those 6 spells, alright, I run 1 copy of March on Monarchs. Basically, your opponent cannot target or destroy your tribute summon monsters but with card effects. Very awesome protection. Alright, Pantheism, only at 1 copy. Hopefully soon it'll be at multiples. Alright, send a Monarch spell and trap from your hand to your graveyard, and you get to turn around and draw 3. And while this card's in the graveyard, you can banish it. Select 3 Monarch spell and traps, reveal them to your opponent, and your opponent has to randomly pick 1 to add to your hand, and the others go back into the shuffle back into the deck. So basically, you can just show a domain and 2 copies of Tenacity, and basically it's either A, you give me the domain right away, or B, I'm gonna take domain with his other spell. Awesome card. And you can activate both of those effects in the same turn, so that's why it's so huge. Alright, 2 copies of Return of the Monarch. Return is a very big consistent card in this deck. Whenever you tribute summon a monster, you get to search your deck for a monster with either 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack and 1000 defense. Alright, gets you what you need when you need it. And of course, mention this with Pantheism, 3 copies of Tenacity. Basically, it's a searcher spell for any of your Monarch spells and traps. You just gotta reveal one of your Monarch cards from your hand, and then you can go. Alright, I'm only running 2 copies of the Monarch Stone 4th. I feel 2 copies is really all that you need now that we have Aether back at 2. It gets a little bit easier now, but still, utilizing one of your opponent's monsters as tribute fodder, great way to get rid of problematic cards off your opponent's field. And the Stormforth pairs exceptionally well with the Escalation of the Monarchs. Escalation allows you to tribute summon during your opponent's turn, which means you're able to disrupt their plays with card effects like Erebus or even Megachias. Alright. 2 copies of the Monarchs are up. This is basically the tribute summon deck's version of Skill Drain. If your opponent doesn't tribute summon monsters, they are screwed. Royally screwed. I mean, this card plus Domain and probably something like Vanity's Fiend with Martial Monarchs is pretty much going to be game. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can get the game in this deck, and the Monarchs Erupt, pretty damn useful. And last but not least, I run 1 copy of the Prime Monarch. Prime Monarch can actually help you recycle stuff from your graveyard back into your deck and draw cards, which is actually pretty cool. And itself is also a trap monster. You can banish Monarch spells and traps from your graveyard, then special summon it onto the field, and you have tribute fire there. I only like running 1 because 1 is really all that you need. There are other ways you can get stuff back into your hand a lot faster. Alright guys, that's it for my Domain Monarch deck for August 2019. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Want to see more content like this on the channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications, including YouTube notifications, so you don't miss a single upload, whether it be here on the Team FTK channel or on my channel, which is Bystanderx79. Link will be down in the description box below. Guys, as always, until next time, peace.